One text that will make them regret hurting you. There comes a moment in life when someone hurts you deeply. They underestimate you, take you for granted, and expect you to break. But here's the thing, you are not here to beg for respect. You are here to command it. If you've ever been left wondering what to say to someone who hurt you, let me tell you this. You don't need paragraphs. You don't need explanations. You need one text, one statement that will shift the power back into your hands. Not to make them cry, not to seek revenge, but to remind them exactly who they lost. Today I'm going to tell you how to do just that. But before we get to the words, let's talk about the mindset. The unshakable, unstoppable force that makes your presence unforgettable. Because power isn't in what you send, it's in who you become after the pain. Your value is not defined by someone else's treatment of you. Too often, we place our self-worth in the hands of people who don't deserve that power. We let their actions, their words, and their choices dictate how we see ourselves. But the truth is, someone's inability to see your worth does not mean you are not worthy. It only means they were never capable of recognizing what they had in front of them. And that is not your loss, it's theirs. When someone hurts you, especially someone you trusted, it's natural to question yourself. You replay every moment, every conversation, every decision, wondering if you could have done something differently. Maybe if you had loved them more, they would have stayed. Maybe if you had been less emotional, they would have respected you. Maybe if you had changed, they would have treated you better. But let me stop you right there. You were never the problem. Their actions, their lack of loyalty, their inability to appreciate you, that is their burden to carry, not yours. You are not responsible for teaching someone how to love you correctly. You are not responsible for shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's limited perception of love and commitment. You are not responsible for convincing anyone that you are worth fighting for. The right person will never need to be convinced. The right person will see your worth without you having to prove it. The biggest mistake we make after being hurt is trying to prove our value to the person who underestimated it. We want them to realize what they lost, to feel the pain they put us through, to regret the choices they made. But true power does not come from their regret. True power comes from knowing deep in your soul that you were always enough. It comes from understanding that their inability to appreciate you is not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their own shortcomings. You don't need to beg for respect. You don't need to lower yourself to seek revenge. You don't need to play games to make someone miss you. The most powerful thing you can do is to recognize your own value and rise unshaken, unapologetic, and unstoppable. The instinct to seek revenge when someone hurts you is natural. You want them to feel what you felt, to understand the depth of your pain, to regret every moment they took you for granted. But real strength doesn't come from retaliation. It comes from rising above, from handling heartbreak with grace, and from showing without saying a word that their actions did not break you. That is the power of self-respect. When you refuse to play the same games, when you choose class over chaos, you leave a lasting impression that no amount of revenge could ever achieve. People expect a reaction. They expect anger, tears, desperate texts, and emotional outbursts. They expect to see you spiral, to lose yourself in the pain they caused. And when you don't give them that satisfaction, when you respond with unshakable confidence and silence, it unsettles them. It forces them to question everything. Why aren't you reacting? Why aren't you chasing? Why aren't you trying to get their attention? That mystery alone is more powerful than any message you could send. Because the truth is, nothing haunts a person more than realizing they no longer have access to you. There is nothing dignified about revenge. It may give you a temporary sense of satisfaction, but in the long run, it only lowers you to the level of the person who hurt you. It ties you to them in a way that prevents you from truly moving forward. Instead of healing, you remain caught in the cycle of pain, allowing their actions to control you long after they've left your life. But when you choose class, when you choose to carry yourself with dignity, you break that cycle. You show them, and more importantly, you show yourself that you are above the drama, above the pettiness, above the need to prove anything to anyone. The best revenge isn't proving your worth to someone who didn't appreciate it. The best revenge is success. It's glowing without them, thriving without them, becoming the person they never believed you could be. It's walking away with your head held high, knowing that your silence speaks louder than any insult ever could. Because when you choose self-respect over retaliation, you don't just win, you elevate, and that is a level they will never reach. Confidence is one of the most magnetic forces in the world. It draws people in, commands attention, and leaves an impact long after you've left the room. But real confidence is not about arrogance or proving a point. It's about an unshakable belief in yourself, in your worth, and in the fact that you do not need validation from anyone to know who you are. And when someone hurts you, the most powerful thing you can do is stand tall, unbothered, and unwavering in the knowledge that their actions do not define you. People expect heartbreak to break you. They expect you to collapse, to question yourself, to lose your shine. And for a moment, maybe you do. Maybe you sit in the silence, wondering why they couldn't see your value, why they walked away so easily, why they didn't fight for you the way you would have fought for them. But here's the thing, confidence isn't about never feeling pain. It's about deciding that the pain will not consume you. It's about standing in front of the mirror, shoulders back, chin up, and reminding yourself that no one, no mistake, no heartbreak has the power to take away what makes you extraordinary. Confidence isn't just in the way you walk or the way you speak, it's in the way you handle yourself when someone tries to shake you. It's in the way you refuse to let their absence make you feel small. It's in the way you continue to glow, to chase your dreams, to laugh loudly, to live fully, despite the fact that they expected you to shrink without them. That kind of confidence is unforgettable. That kind of confidence makes them look back and wonder how they ever let you go. It's easy to believe that you need to prove something after someone hurts you, that you need to show them what they lost, that you need to make them regret their decision. But true confidence isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about knowing deep in your soul that you never had anything to prove in the first place. The right people will never need reminders of your worth, and the wrong people, they will always realize it too late. But by then, you'll be too far ahead. Too radiant, too powerful to even notice. Words carry weight. They have the power to heal, to wound, to inspire, and to leave a lasting impression. But the true power of words lies not in how many you use, but in how precisely and purposefully you choose them. When someone hurts you, it's tempting to pour your emotions into long messages, to explain your pain, to demand answers, to seek closure. But real strength is in restraint. Real power is in understanding that you don't need to beg for clarity or validation. The way you respond or don't can shift the entire dynamic, leaving them with a realization that lingers far longer than any angry outburst ever could. Most people expect either silence or emotional outpouring. They expect one of two things. Either you say nothing, allowing them to believe you are devastated beyond words, or you send paragraph after paragraph trying to make them see the damage they caused. But there is another way, a smarter way, a way that reclaims your power without playing into their expectations. A single sentence, crafted with precision, can say everything that needs to be said. No desperation, no pleading, no bitterness, just quiet confidence that forces them to reflect on their own actions. The key to choosing your words wisely is understanding that they are not about revenge. They are about self-respect. You are not trying to break them the way they broke you. You are not trying to manipulate their emotions or force them into regret. You are simply reminding them, in the most composed and effortless way possible, that you are not someone they can easily forget, that you are not someone they can replace, that they may have walked away, but they will never truly be able to erase your presence. A carefully chosen phrase, a subtle acknowledgement of your own strength, a statement that carries both grace and finality. This is what will leave them thinking. This is what will make them wonder if they made a mistake. Because real impact isn't in loud confrontation, it's in the words that echo in their mind long after they've read them. It's in the realization that they lost someone who was never afraid to walk away with dignity. It's in the unshakable confidence of knowing that the right people never need to be convinced of your worth. And those who do, They never deserved access to you in the first place. There is something incredibly powerful about walking away without looking back. It is a statement, a declaration of self-respect, a reminder to the world and to yourself that you are not someone who waits around for people to realize your worth. Too often we hold on to the hope that they will change, that they will wake up one day and see us the way we deserve to be seen all along. But the truth is, the longer you wait for someone to value you, the more you tell yourself that you weren't enough to begin with. And that is the biggest lie you could ever believe. Walking away is not weakness, it is the ultimate act of strength. It means you refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It means you are done making excuses for someone who never truly showed up for you. It means you are choosing yourself, not out of spite, not out of bitterness, but out of an unshakable understanding that your life does not revolve around anyone who could so carelessly let you go. That is the kind of energy that is unforgettable. That is the kind of decision that leaves an impact. Most people expect you to linger. They expect you to keep the door open just enough for them to return whenever they please. They expect you to be available, waiting, hoping, checking your phone for their message. And when you are no longer there, when you no longer give them access to you, when they realize that you are truly gone, it forces them to sit with the consequences of their actions. Because when you carry yourself like someone who will not be taken for granted, people have no choice but to either step up or step out. And if they choose to step out, let them. That is not your burden to carry. Letting go is not about pretending you never cared. It is about accepting that some people are not meant to stay, that their presence in your life was a lesson, not a lifelong commitment. It is about choosing peace over chaos, dignity over desperation, and strength over suffering. It is about understanding that no one who genuinely values you would ever put you in a position where you have to question your own worth. When you walk away, you are not just leaving them behind, you are stepping into the best version of yourself, into a life where you are no longer waiting to be chosen, but choosing yourself fully and unapologetically. When someone hurts you, the greatest response is not anger, not revenge, not even words. It is how you rise beyond the pain. It is in the way you carry yourself with dignity, the way you embrace your own worth without needing their validation, the way you turn your heartbreak into an unstoppable force for growth. The person who once took you for granted will eventually realize what they lost, but by then you will be too busy living your best life to even notice. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to send endless messages seeking closure or revenge. The most powerful thing you can do is step forward with grace, with confidence, with the quiet certainty that you are always enough. Let your energy speak for itself. Let your success, your happiness, your refusal to look back be the only answer they ever need. Because the truth is, the people who truly deserve you will never put you in a position where you have to remind them of your worth. And those who do, their regret is not your responsibility. So stand tall, keep your head high, walk away with the confidence of someone who knows that their value does not decrease just because someone else failed to see it. The best kind of revenge isn't proving your worth to them, it's knowing deep in your soul that you never had to.